Hi you guys. Okay, well, we're back to my story. Okay, where we left off, I was still in England, and a friend of mine was from England, was gonna be moving to Colombia to work with Y Women Colombia with Los Gamines. Los Gamines are the children who, I don't know if it's still like that there, but there was street children, children that lived under bridges, and I'm talking about 5-year-old children. I'm not exaggerating, because I guess there was too many children in the household and their parents weren't able to support them, and they just went off and they found their own family in gangs, living under the bridges, living in all sorts of places. Well, when I heard about this, my heart was pulled, and so I started to think maybe God wanted me to go there too. And so He showed me through some scriptures in the Bible that He did. He just led me to read about orphans and stuff. I don't know. Well, anyway, so I applied to go there and I was accepted. And so I didn't know any Spanish, but I decided that I was going to go first home and stay with my parents in the United States. And I went there and I stayed there with them for 8 months, and I went every day. They lived in Oregon, and I would take the bus every day into Portland and for Spanish classes, one-on-one. And by the time I left to go there, I ended up going there in May of '84. By the time, I thought that I was fluent, you know, and because I had memorized so many words and I was able to communicate with my teacher, but I didn't realize she was speaking slowly. So I get there and I'm lost because everybody's a million miles an hour. And it was hard. It was so hard because there was only a handful of English-speaking people in Bogota, in the base there in Bogota. And it was wonderful being there up in the mountains. Every day has, like they say, that every day has the 4 seasons. There's warm parts, there's being cold, there is rainy, there is just every day is like, has each of the 4 seasons in them, and it's true. And it was wonderful being there. The people are so wonderful, but it was hard because it was a completely different culture. Whereas when I was in England, you know, it was somewhat the same. Now, it's like I would be fed, well, I didn't eat it, mundungo, which is something in the innards. And oh, I know that they love it. And you Colombians out there who, if you ever watch this, you know, or some Spanish people, they love it. But, oh, and for me it smelled so bad. When I could wake up in the morning and smell that, I knew what I was in for, or being served, and now I'm used to it and I love it. And I love Spanish culture now, but being served a soup with a chicken foot in it, and seeing how they just loved it, you know, it was like so neat to have the chicken foot. And but for me it was just so strange. But anyway, it was still a wonderful experience. And then, but they were just starting the work of working with Los Gamines, and we would go out and meet some and pray for some and you know, try to get into their lives and love on them. But, and oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, they had, I'm literally, I'm not exaggerating, so much dirt on them that they truly, they would have had a bath, they had white skin, but they looked black. Their whole bodies, their faces, their arms, everything, because that was their life, to live under the streets. So live under the bridges. So we would take them food and just try to love on them and offer them showers and things like that. And I know that now the work down there has progressed, where they've really able to offer them so much more. But at that time we couldn't do much for them because it was just starting off, and it was just heartbreaking. But anyway, since that was not really going at the time, I ended up working with, they had a preschool going that was offering preschool to the poor, the ones that really did not have money to afford it. And so it was so wonderful, and I got very, very, very close, became lifelong friends with this one person who during that time became a Christian, who she herself later on told me her story that she lived on the street with her whole family. But when I met her, she was off of the street with a job and even wanting to go to school, and she ended up going to school. But she is still a lifelong friend, and but at that time her sisters, she was already an adult, but her mother had had other children, and her sisters were infants. They were being potty trained. They were that age, and they would come and be in the my job was to help take care of the babies, the real little ones who would get dropped off so that their mothers could work. And it was like a daycare for them, preschool for the older ones. And so they were twins, identical twin little girls, and there was other precious children there too. But these ones were my friend's sisters. And even though she was an adult, but anyway, one day they came and it was time to wipe their little butts. And so what happened was, I thought, all of a sudden I said, if you need to turn it off because you are eating or something, I understand, but I saw something white. It looked like, you know what it looked like? Both of them had these white things coming out of their butts. And so I thought they looked like, what are those things called that you put in salads? They're long, bean sprouts or something like that. These long white things. They were worms, and I pulled them out. That was very life-changing for me. What an experience. But anyway, those are my biggest memories from Colombia. And then I was going through Trimites. I think that's how you say it, Trimites, I think. But red tape. I was going through so much red tape because I was trying to get a long-term visa there. Well, guess what? God had other plans, and after 7.5 months, my visa got denied. And I ended up going to Puerto Rico, and where my Spanish improved, and I was in Puerto Rico for a year and a half. And so next time I'll tell a little story from there. But anyway, that's all for now, and dream big and go for it.